When you look at the United States in comparison with Japan and the length or the duration of repairing of balance sheets, if we were to engage in a 5 or 7% of GDP fiscal plan, how many years do you think it would have to go on until the private sector had put themselves back into that place of balance?
It's a very difficult estimate to make because there's so few examples in the past that we can rely on. But Japanese took nearly 15 years before deleveraging stopped. It stopped around 2005. Bubble burst
89, 90?
89, 90. Yeah. So that's 15 years. This is against the commercial real estate prices falling 87% nationwide. U.S. commercial real estate prices fell about half of that, 44%, and house prices down about 30, 35%, which are, of course, much smaller than the Japanese numbers. And so I don't think U.S. should take 15. I think make it much shorter.
6, 7 years.
Right. Yeah. But to do that, we have to do everything right. And Japan did not have to take 15 either. We made 2 mistakes in the middle. In 1997, Prime Minister Hashimoto, listening to all these people who told him that fiscal policy is not working, you're putting so much, building bridges to nowhere, roads to nowhere, look, economy is going absolutely nowhere. The IMF, the OECD, they all told him to cut budget deficit. And I was advising him at the time, and I said, no, you don't cut. If you cut now, the whole thing will come crashing down. But I was just a private sector economist, not even a Japanese. He listened to all these big shots from abroad and decided to cut. We entered 5 quarters of negative growth. Complete meltdown of the banking system to go with it.
Unlike Roosevelt in 37,
1937, exactly. Yeah. And as a result, it took Japan nearly 10 years to climb out of that hole. The budget deficit, instead of decreasing by 15 trillion yen, 3% of Japan's GDP, it increased by 16 trillion yen, 68%. And to bring this thing down, because the damage was so large, it took us 10 years. And another small mistake was made by Prime Minister Koizumi in year 2001, when he tried to limit Japanese government bond issuance to 30 trillion yen a year. But the gap was bigger than 30 trillion. He tried to keep it at 30, and the economy began showing negative growth again. So those 2 mistakes cost Japan nearly 10 years, in my view. And I don't want the United States to make the same mistake.